So hello guys, short episode here. Just wanted to show you some advancements I made with this Gondor army that I'm preparing. I picked up as I mentioned in a previous video, when I went to Comic-Con here in Sweden in November, there was a stand of a store located in Västerås here in Sweden. It's called Goblinen. That is, one of the largest online also for Warhammer and in general in Sweden, hobby stuff. And I saw that they had a Battle of Osgiliath box that, I thought it was a good price, and I said, hey, I think I'm gonna get it. And we decided to take it. So I have been playing around a little with what you get in the content of it. I'm gonna show you a couple things. First, the force here that you see here, we're gonna go through it later. First thing I wanted to show you is that I have actually finished painting these buildings of Gondor, of Osgiliath, that come in the box. I am very happy with the result. I did not follow the instructions at all for building them, so I just built them a little as I felt like. This one I wanted to give a tower, which I couldn't access, of course, because this door is closed. So I made these ladders with some skewers, wooden, and then I painted them and pasted them in place, and they look actually very good altogether. I might make some shots of these guys in the ruins so you can see them blending in, of the ones I'm going to show you today. So as you can see, dry brushed with acrylic paints, wood details in brown with washes. It was very easy and very fun to paint this terrain. I have to say the quality of it is great. It was very fun to build them too. Very interchangeable, very, you could really update and customize things. And I love it a lot. For example, here, this wall, I did not have another piece to put in between, so I just put some green stuff and sculpted it to look kind of like rock. And I think it looks pretty well, I'm very happy. I made another 2 buildings that I'll show you since we are at it. And then you'll see them in the rest of shots that we take. So you see here, another ladder here. These are like some pillars that I made again with skewers, so it looks like, hey, you gotta reinforce the building because it's about to fall. 2 floors of it. This is more like a classical corner building that's just gonna be sitting there. But I like that they're ruins of bigger structures rather than just, smaller ones. This one I did again with green stuff. I just sculpted it to look like rock, so it's there. And then the last building I have here is the smallest of them all. So you see here some leftover pieces that I used as debris. Another pillar here to keep everything in place. The ladder on this inner side. Some the floor. You can actually have somebody standing here and goes around, can go up and down. You have some cover on this side, so you can have archers and stuff. I think it was nice. If I pick up another, when I pick up another set of these, probably I might just follow the instructions in that case, just so every building looks different, in the same way that I'm obsessed about miniatures looking like duplicates. I don't want my buildings to look like that. And I even ventured to use some leftover foam pieces in my, that I'm a bit obsessed with recycling and stuff. And I made a house of Gondor out of, foam and stuff that I had laying around at home. Some cereal box to make the roof. Painted it in acrylics, did some washes and stuff. I'm pretty happy with it. For being the first time I do things like this with foam in years, it's not bad. It's gonna look good besides everything else. So yeah, that will be the terrain part I wanted to show you, because I'm also working on these things every so often. But then of course the Battle of Osgiliath has main thing for the good side. That is first the Minas Tirith warriors that I already showed you, that I put in the previous video. And then you get another 12 rangers plus 3 heroes. Those 12 rangers, I finally decided to paint them like Gondor rangers, as you can see here, with very bright green cloaks. I use this paint is from the army painter. I found them very cheap in Tallinn, in Estonia, in a trip I was doing for work, and I decided to get them. So I wanted to try out, and they actually work very well. There is some conversion here and there. You know, this guy, the angle of the bow is different. He's not holding it on the side of his body. I re-sculpted the cloak here so it wouldn't look obvious. This guy is the first left-handed archer in the army. I just gave him a different arm from Perry Miniatures, changed this hand is the same. He used to have a sword, and he has another bow on the back, but who cares? I mean, I gave this guy a bow and he's running while he is holding a sword, but he also has another bow on the back. Hey, works for me. He used to have a spear that I gave to somebody else that had a sword. I think it was this guy. Yeah, he's meant to have a sword, but he got a spear now. And then we have this guy that is meant to be striking, but he also has another bow, even though he has one on the back. Just to, you know, mix up a little. This one is shooting an arrow that I gave from leftover bits from the usual Perry Miniatures. This dude took actually a lot of conversion because I removed both arms from him. And then I gave him 2 armored arms from, again, the Perry Miniatures box. And it looks like he's striking two-handed. I'm happy with how he looks, actually. You know, I wanted to give them character and to look different from each other and to look different from the other rangers I had, at least in most cases, because this guy doesn't really give a lot of room for conversion since he's two-handing a spear. This one the same. I thought, oh, maybe rangers cannot have banners, so why should I make a banner bearer? So, you know, I gave him these arrows here on the floor so you can be in front of him. You know, just details here and there. This guy has an axe to give him some more equipment. This one is shooting arrows and he has another set of arrows on the floor just to give them some character. But of course, this also another big part of this box is the heroes you get. So I get this box of this sprue of these 3 heroes of Gondor. Main one being Faramir, that we have him here with a sword jumping over these ruins. You know, it's a beautiful sculpt. It's a pain in the ass to put together. Like the newest Games Workshop miniatures for this, they're beautiful, but they have so many small pieces that it's a pain to work with them. At least until, you know, when you see them together in front of you, it's like, yeah, this is the shit. But when you're building them, I hate them with a passion because there's so many tiny pieces. I want to do a conversion of another Faramir in another moment, but you guys probably will see that video eventually. If I make it, because I think it will be a very cool concept, but I don't want to say anything right now. We have here Damrod, you know, different color scheme, all brown, different shades. Behind this pillar, very happy with him too. This one was easier to put together, I will say. Very easy to paint, so what was there to hate? And then we have Madril. That, you know, it was easier to put together than Faramir, but not easier than Damrod, at least for me. Color scheme, pretty much the same. This gray tabard to look different. Sword, the wound on the head. Pillar on the back. You know, I'm happy with how they look. They look great, but my critic with them is not how they look. It's more the matter of if every soldier we're gonna have to build of the new sets of Middle Strategy Battle game are gonna be this complicated. It's gonna burn out very fast. For example, I haven't shown anything about this, but Rohan Warriors. I got a sprue from eBay. They're 12. I love the sculpts. They're amazing. They're beautiful, but they're so complicated to put together. They are so monopose. Like I just think about, okay, when I get another box of this or another sprue, what am I going to do so they don't look like copies of each other? Because the heads, they're pretty set to be on one body. The body that you get, they're pretty set on this guy has a bow, this guy has a spear, and it's very hard to make changes about them. Some changes could be made, but I mean, it's such a shame because these guys are so dynamic. And I wish they will make this level of detail and this level of sculpt that you have now compared to the older models, that of course there's a big difference, by allowing you at the same time to customize them. Like when I always talk about the same thing. When I bought the Perry Miniatures boxes, you get the bodies, you get the heads, you get the arms, and with small conversions here and there, and in most cases without any, you can use whatever you want. And you can make them however you want. And you can make a ton of spears, you can make a ton of archers, you can make a ton of... So I love the fact that you can customize them and that you can just put them together however you see fit. And if you want to convert them more and try to go the extra mile, you're allowed to do it. Like, you can do it with the amount of things you get. But I don't know, I feel that otherwise getting more and more miniatures of these can get pretty stale very fast. So that's why I think I'm doing so much conversion, because I don't like them when they are, I don't want clones. I want them to feel like an army. I don't want them to feel like CGI repetition. I want them to have character, which is the same thing I'm trying to do with the Mordor side of the Battle of Osgiliath, but we'll leave that for another day. I'm just gonna finish with another thing related to Gondor, but not with the Battle of Osgiliath, that I picked up another day. That is the box of the 3 hunters, which I have the same critic as the same miniatures, as the other miniatures. They're very hard to put together, especially some things. I love the Gimli sculpt. I did a small conversion, so I gave him this 2-handed axe instead of the big one, instead of the small one. I just thought it looked cooler, and I'm very happy with him. He was very easy to paint also. Very nice. I love the gray of the Elvish cloak, so it looks like it ties up with the Grey Company. Legolas, same thing. Very nice sculpt, very nice details. I love the details on the bow. I love the details on the carcass for the arrows. Again, beautiful gray cloak. I'm very happy with this Legolas, how it turned out. And of course, Mr. Aragorn himself, now in Ranger version. I have the King version, I have the Ranger, this time the official. Very nice miniature. Not the hardest to put together of the 3, I will say, but still very hard to put together if you compare with other stuff that I have built lately. But I love the sculpt. I love the miniature. I love Aragorn. He's my favorite character for, in the movies and lore wise, and he's great. And I love Viggo Mortensen, so. But yeah, as I always do, I'm gonna make some wide shots of these guys all together with the ruins. I will say, so you can see them in action. Shorter video than the previous one, but I had less miniatures to show. At least we had this little rant about the multi-part pieces. I wish that Games Workshop could do something about it. Try to find like a middle term in which you could make extremely detailed miniatures that still allows you customization and not so monopose because of the design of the sprues. Because I feel honestly that, as I showed you now, this Rohan box, I feel that they are beautiful sculpts, but they're not made by people that plays and collects these things. Because if they did, I think they will design the sprues much different. I feel that they took great sculptors that they're gonna do a great job with them, but they didn't take in consideration that this is part of a hobby in which you have to, put them together, paint them, and do all the work. And I think that this is what happens because, it's a big part of this hobby, I feel, is that you don't just get your miniature or your miniatures, but like in other games, you can get one character. And then if you have to fight to get that character together and to paint him to perfection. I understand it because you need one dude. But in these cases, we're talking that every army, if you want to play a decently sized game, you're going to have to collect a lot of miniatures. And if you have to collect those miniatures, you want them to look good, but you don't want to spend 2 hours putting them all of them together, because a big part is put them together, paint them, conversions, basing. And if that process is not enjoyed by people or by some people, then that people is not gonna continue in the hobby, which I think is very sad, because for me the whole process of putting them together and paint them and everything and try to make up stories for them and why are they looking like this, why does their gear look like that, try to make them make sense is very fun. But I found out that it's much funnier to do it with miniatures like this one, like I showed you in the previous video from the Perry, that you can, interchange, mix and match here and there, rather than, as I said before, get this guy 4 times repeated. At least that's my point of view. We'll see what I do when it comes to paint these guys, and when I get my hands on more Rohan warriors. I'm already planning on how I'm gonna make my Rohan army. I mean, I have Eowyn, I showed it to you the other day. I have these guys. I have some plans there. Maybe I make a video about them eventually when I start moving it. But we'll see what I can do about this. I'm gonna really have to think about how to not make them look duplicated. Because my Gondor army, even though they all have, the same Gondor armor, I don't think they look like it. I think they still have some character left, and that's what I love the most about them. So, of course, is Gondor army done? No. I'm missing a lot of heroes. I'm missing a lot of different troops, like Guards of the Citadel, Guards of the Fountain Court. I'm missing cavalry. So there's going to be a lot of work. Siege weapons. I have one finished, but I have to finish the other one. I think I might go to do that now before going to bed, maybe. But yeah, I just wanted to make an update about this, just let you guys know how it's going, and when I have new things, I'll keep showing them to you as they come. I'm bouncing here and there from project to project, and as I said before, but I'm enjoying the path a lot. Right now I don't have a lot of time every day to do this. I know there's many days that pass without me having time to sit down and advance majorly on anything, but I feel that just to have the objectives, to do research, to, just come here, look at them a little, try to see if I can improve something. It's been a very enjoyable process for me, and I hope that somebody can enjoy watching it with me, because, I do when I see the processes of other people on the internet and how they build their armies and see their thought processes. I think it's a very fun part of this hobby. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully I did not forget to show you how they all look from a different perspective, but I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Cheers.